Well, our child welfare system is certainly in a state of crisis, but just how bad it's really become is hard to know.
For months now, investigator Brittany Costello has been asking to see records of police calls to a certain Albuquerque office. It's where kids removed from unsafe homes are sleeping and waiting for a real home in a real bed.
And what she uncovered shows how dangerous it can be for kids when the State Department of Children, Youth and Families says it is there to help them.
This Albuquerque building may not look like much, but it's home, sort of.
It smells horrible. There's trash, there's stuff spilled everywhere. They're smoking fentanyl in there.
Our Children, Youth and Families Department has turned offices like these into a place to stay for more than 400 kids last year alone.
It's a recipe for injury, for assault. I mean, beyond needs, basic needs not being met, it's a dangerous scenario.
We need to report an assault.
At times,
That is like the fourth time she slapped him.
it seems like uncontrollable chaos.
What are some of the things that you have seen happening in these offices?
Fights, security guards slamming kids into the walls and stuff.
Our records show CYFD staffers like Evan Senna called police here more than 400 times in a year.
He threatened to do what? Threatened to shoot me.
Everyone was just like, it's never been so bad.
Alyssa told us sleeping in the office isn't much better than an abusive home.
I just kind of ran away from CYFD. I couldn't handle sleeping in an office anymore. I was getting so depressed. It was hurtful to go through it.
In state custody with a lawyer by her side at age 7, she bounced from foster home to foster home.
It kind of just felt like there was no one who really wanted me.
At 16, she ended up at the CYFD office.
Had us sleeping on like floors, and they would give us prison food.
Literally. She says this reheated pizza from the juvenile detention center was dinner.
They're living in like this, a room like this, small, half the size of this, and then it's nothing. They don't have TVs. They're constantly being monitored, constantly being watched.
Evan Allen Senna is a former CYFD worker. He says he burned out, then was forced out.
Are you just a disgruntled employee?
No, not at all. I enjoyed the work. I just wish we had help.
So then why are you talking to us?
Just because I think like if people don't realize what's going on, that agency is gonna collapse.
The Director of Protective Services told employees this month CYFD will punish those who refuse mandatory overtime for office stays.
You're putting youth who need to have their needs met by a parent in a home with groups of kids who desperately need a parent, the attention of a loving adult, and they have staff, many of whom don't really want to be there.
Sarah Krecka is Alyssa's attorney. She's also part of a team that settled a lawsuit against the department in 2020. An arbitrator recently said the state is not keeping its promises for system-wide reform. In fact, Krecka says it's worse.
The number of children in the office, both in Bernalillo County and statewide, has exploded.
It's doubled in the last year, and children sleeping in offices mean problems for staff.
This is the usual for them. They escalate until they hurt one of us.
We found calls alleging drug use, police threats to take troubled kids to the detention center, and kids running away.
You're almost happy when they go. You're like, oh, good, they're gone, or whatever. And it's sad to say that, but that's because we have no help.
CYFD Secretary Teresa Casados recently told lawmakers,
I want to just make it clear that it's not because we don't have beds available. We still have beds available for kids that come into care. We don't have the appropriate type of placement for some of these individuals.
She wants more money for multi-service group homes, a temporary solution for office stays.
How do you say what's better between two evils, the lesser of two evils? Congregate care is not the answer.
The crisis is so bad, 41 kids in CYFD care are runaways, missing. This month, 2 teen girls ran off from their group home.
Officers say the girls were walking the streets when a man pulled up to them and offered to get them a room for the night. Then he sexually assaulted them.
It, to me, is a public health emergency. The fact that it hasn't been treated that way is outrageous.
It's sad that I had to find my forever home by myself.
She's 18 and not sure what's next. She never finished 9th grade. Now, she wonders what would have been if she was never removed by CYFD in the first place.
I would have rather stayed with my family. Completely 100% yes.
You didn't ask for any of this, right?
No. I didn't even ask to be born. So it sucks not having the support from my family. And as much as I want it, if they don't want to be out, they're missing out on a good, kind-hearted person.
Brittany Costello, 4 Investigates.
Now, at least for this interview, the department decided not to sit down with us, but a spokesperson did send us a statement saying the department is transparent and honest about the systemic issues that it is still trying to address. They say, though, it's now up to the legislature during this session to help fund those solutions.